A series of major breaking news just in the last few minutes about your third stimulus check of $1,400 and your fourth monthly stimulus check. These are details just breaking minutes ago, and they sort of override the tape recordings you may hear later on this channel as well. First, we got confirmation from the White House minutes ago that 2 million third stimulus checks of $1,400 are landing by direct deposit today. And only some of them are for veterans, that the rest of them are for you. Yes, so we're learning today that direct deposit and also mail checks went out today, amounting to nearly 2 million of them. That includes SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans who they say did not file prior tax returns or non-file filings. And this is in addition to just veterans. Nearly 300,000 of them were veterans. The remainder of the 2 million were non-veterans. So big breaking news minutes ago. Also big breaking news is a new bill to give you $6,000 in stimulus from the federal government. And guess who it's from? It's Ron Wyden. This is Afternoons LALATE. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a big afternoon with a lot of exciting details, and it's happening left and right. I'm so glad that you join me. In this recording, we're going to go over the developing details just happening minutes ago about third stimulus. Thank you, Canute, for the dancing pair. I really appreciate it. Breaking news about the third stimulus check. Yes, it's coming to people who are not just veterans today. Congratulations, and more this week as well. Second, breaking news about a new bill that'll pay you $6,000 in stimulus. That's in addition to those monthly stimulus checks under the fourth stimulus package. Additional breaking news as well about $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness. Oh, there's a lot of breaking news in this video. Also happening, new news about new jobs from Walmart and new air routes from American Airlines. Wow, very exciting. But let's cut into the breaking news happening minutes ago from the White House, in which the White House explains to us that more people are getting third $1,400 stimulus checks today than we originally thought. Let's listen into the sentence issued minutes ago.
Feels like it should be later than Wednesday in the week. I may be the only one who feels that way. Okay, a couple of items for you all at the top. Today, the Department of Treasury announced the establishment of a new department, the Office of Recovery Programs, to lead
First, you'll hear an
Treasury
announcement, and then you'll hear about the
implementation
checks.
of economic relief and recovery programs, including nearly $420 billion in programs from the American Rescue Plan. This new office, which will be led by the inaugural Chief Recovery Officer, Jacob Liebenluft, will be focused on efficiently establishing and administering Treasury's programs to support an equitable and swift recovery from the economic challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Jacob will also serve as the lead administrator of recovery programs and a principal advisor on recovery program implementation, and he, of course, will work closely with Gene Sperling. Another piece of good news, today the IRS, the U.S. Department of Treasury, and the Bureau of Fiscal Service announced that they are dispersing nearly $2 million payments from the American Rescue Plan, which brings the total dispersed so far to
$2 million
approximately
today.
159 million payments, with a total value of more than $376 billion. Since these payments began rolling out just last month, over 320,000 payments worth $450 million went to Veterans Affairs beneficiaries who received VA benefits but don't normally file a tax return and didn't use the non-filers tool last year, hence it took a little bit longer. These payments also include Social Security beneficiaries who didn't file a 2020 or 2019 tax return, and the latest batch of payments has a total value of more than $3.4 billion. Finally, yesterday, Microsoft issued new.
So there you go. There was the major announcement that today, in the latest round of disbursements of the third stimulus check of $1,400. The April 14th drop today, which I first detailed to you several weeks ago, that today's drop did not only include veterans, that it was 2 million checks that were dropped today, and of them, 300,000 were for veterans. The rest were not for veterans, and included SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad recipients. But the magnitude of people who got stimulus checks today or coming this week were people who did not file prior tax returns or use the non-filing tool. So away we go. Great, big, exciting news. It was very quickly said by the press secretary. I'm glad I grabbed it. I was watching through the tape recording and seeing if there was anything of magnitude, and there it was right at the beginning. So this is breaking news you're hearing just on this channel. Again, to recap, if you have not got to that fourth stimulus check and you have not filed tax returns in the past or not done a non-filer filing, this is likely you, either by direct deposit, if they have the direct deposit account on file, or if you do not have a direct deposit on file, that's mail check at about 2 weeks from today for the mail check. The mail checks are about 2 weeks late. Wow. That's the start. That's the start. Coming up later in this video, I'll be going over the deliciousness and the exciting great news about fourth stimulus, the next stimulus package, the fourth stimulus, and those senators who want to put those stimulus checks in there, and those House members who want to put those stimulus checks in there every month, that would pay you this. Approximately this. $8,400 approximately an individual over 6 months if they got it done within 6 months, or $12,000. Look at this money. For a single individual, $8,400 approximately, or $12,000 approximately for a single individual. Now, as you digest that number, get ready, because I got on top of that, not a replacement. On top of that, you ready for this? A new bill that gives you also $6,000. Away we go. Introducing Senator Ron Wyden. Minutes ago, Ron Wyden introduced a bill. And if you remember this channel, you got a copy of the bill. You got a copy of the actual bill, hot off the presses as a member of this channel. The bill provides you $6,000. Who gets it? If you are a self-employed gig worker or other worker, you're going to get $100 a week over 6 months, which is $6,000. Wow. This is huge. This is huge. So let me explain what's happening here. On April 25th last year, this channel launched. And the reason why I launched this channel, among other reasons, on April 25th, was because on April 28th, a certain thing was about to go live. It was called PUA. On April 25th, almost no one knew what PUA was. There were no YouTube videos on the subject matter. So I launched the channel and say, hey, there's this new thing happening called PUA. They're like, oh, that's that FPUC thing. No, PUA is different than FPUC. And over the next 3 months, it was funny because people got very confused between PUA and FPUC. Even I got confused the first few times, called it FPUL a few times. Well, PUA launched on April 28th, at least in California. Some other states took a while to launch. And if you were with me in those early days, you remember how I would detail viewers out of Florida weren't getting in and other states. Well, guess what? PUA is saying bye-bye. PUA is flying right off into the sunset. It's likely not to get extended after its latest run. Its latest run ends in September. In September, all the things you've heard about from CARES Act 1, the first stimulus, are likely to call it quits. PEUC, FPUC, and PUA. What is PUA, and what does Ron Wyden have to do with it? Ron Wyden's proposal today is a permanent lifetime replacement for PUA people. Yes. So PUA was created under the first stimulus package to provide relief to people who had lost their jobs or reduced in employment, who are gig workers, sole practitioners, independent contractors, Uber, Lyft, hairdressers, electricians, who are not W-2s. They're not employees. They are not employed by someone. They're not W-2s. They're 1099s. And they would never normally qualify for unemployment assistance from the states because they're not employees. Well, PUA was created to give them relief so that they could get assistance when they had a reduction of their work because of the pandemic. Well, PUA goes bye-bye in September. Well, Ron Wyden has a solution. He introduced just a minute ago the Employment Insurance Modernization Act, the UIMA. These names, UMI, the UMI. And I really don't care what you call it, so long as it's delicious. Well, it is delicious. If you are that type of PUA person and you need assistance, the federal government is going to pay you a new check that will be called Unemployment Insurance Modernization Act check of $250 a week for 6 months. So basically what happens is if you were normally a PUA type person and you don't have a job and you're an Uber Lyft driver and you're not getting work anymore, then guess what? The federal government will write you a check, $250 a week for 6 months, or $6,000. So basically a half a year of PUA, and this is not tied to COVID. This would be a permanent law. So he introduces the Senate, which means it starts in the Senate, then goes back to the House, voted in the House, and then back to the president. Hopefully it becomes law. Very, very exciting. That is Ron Wyden, and this is what he had to say about the major bill, which he introduced today with Michael Benet, Democrat of Colorado. Wyden said our employment system is broken, and it's been broken for decades. And we've seen over the last year it's much harder for unemployment system to work in a crisis when it's been neglected and sabotaged. Really good help. So this is because under the CARES Act, under the first stimulus package, PUA was created, but PUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, is about to end in September. So away we go. Wow, what excitingness. What is going on? If you're just joining me, let me tell you the big recap. Kamora just joined the room, says, what did I miss? Boy, it's just starting to get through all the details because there's a lot in this video. First, just breaking minutes ago is the press secretary for the White House has just confirmed that the latest round of stimulus checks, third stimulus checks, $1,400, went out today of 2 million checks that only 30% of them, no, 15% of them, only 15% of them were for veterans who don't file tax returns and don't use non-file filing. The remainder of it were people of other walks of life who don't file tax returns or use the non-file filing. So if you are on SSI or SSDI, Social Security Rural Benefits, or you don't file tax returns, or you never use the non-file filing, your direct deposit could be there today. And if it's not there today, it could be in the mail. That was the first breaking detail. Second breaking detail was a new bill from Ron Wyden, gives you $6,000. If you're a PUA type person, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance type person, over 6 months. Really great news because PUA is going away in September. Also coming up, the excitement about fourth stimulus, that deliciousness about the EIDL grants. But before that, I have some other really exciting, great news. This happened just seconds ago. Yesterday, Senator Elizabeth Warren requested from the federal government information on how many Americans would be helped by forgiveness of $50,000 of student loan debt. Well, that data just came in minutes ago, and I have it for you. This is also breaking news hot off the presses. The new data released from the federal government to Elizabeth Warren, which she released to the press, shows that 36 million Americans will get relief by the forgiveness of $50,000 of student loan debt. This is huge. So 36 million Americans who could not buy a home because of student loan debt, or couldn't buy a car because of student loan debt, or couldn't start a business because of student loan debt. 36 million Americans will be helped because of this executive order, which I've been reporting for about a week, is going to be signed by executive order as early as this Thursday. Now, we're waiting for Education Secretary Miguel Cardona to create and generate that memo that says whether the president legally can forgive student loan debt as a president. Warren says that he can because Obama and Trump has done it before. So exciting news as we await that memo. Coming up later in this video, I have more exciting news about new jobs generating, new routes for American Airlines, and big money coming for business as well. Also be going over that fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check, and how much money it could pay you, how the routings at issue are very important, and we'll also go over the push, the support, and why you want this speedily done, not slowly done. It's a great afternoon's recording, and I'll be back with you in just 60 seconds after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on noontime and afternoons LA. Thank you for joining me on a big day of exciting, great news. Thank you for also joining me earlier today on our new show on this channel, CoinLate. I really appreciate you for joining me when we covered cryptocurrency earlier today and the debut, the IPO of Coinbase, a new tech offering, the first crypto offering ever on a publicly traded IPO. And boy, it's been heating up all day long. Thank you for joining me on CoinLate. It's back tomorrow. But let me cut to the breaking details in just a second. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. It is a big day with a lot of exciting, great details, and I'm so excited for you. Let's get to it right now. First, if you're just joining me, we had the confirmation from the White House at the top of this video that another round of third stimulus checks of $1,400 went out earlier today, and those were 2 million checks, 300,000 of which were for veterans, the remainder for non-veterans. These are people who apparently never filed tax returns, never used a non-file filing tool. So congratulations, those checks are landing. If you're a mail check recipient, the checks are about 2 weeks late. Second, we had the incredible great news as Senator Ron Wyden introduced a new bill that would provide you $6,000 for assistance, in addition to everything else I cover on this channel, if you're a PUA person. And this would cover, because PUA is about to expire in September. And then we had the big, exciting, great news as we started the afternoon, as Elizabeth Warren got that data, which she wanted as the final push is underway to forgive student loan debt of $50,000. She got data that shows that tens of millions of Americans, nearly 36 million Americans, will be tax-free, will be debt-free if that $50,000 of student loan debt is forgiven. Boy. What else is happening just minutes ago? Well, Walmart is announcing a major job hiring. Walmart is moving most of its workers now towards full-time status from part-time status. Walmart says it will be up nearly 53% on the number of full-time workers. That's still a little bit lower than the average of the industry, 71%. But Walmart says it will have 740,000 of its 1.2 million workers switching to full-time on January 31st, by January 31st. Great news. Also making big news is American Airlines. American Airlines has now confirmed that it's ramping up its routes in advance of the summer. They think the demand is going to be back. American plans to fly more than 90% of its 2019 summer routes in the next few weeks, and 80% of its summer international capacity from 2019 in the next few weeks. America says that its first quarter, Q1 2021, was down 43% compared to 2019, not 2020, 2019. So they're still far behind. Throughout the pandemic, our trademark has been to build a schedule based upon what customers tell us they want to need. And today they're telling us they're eager to get back to travel. Well, travel is certainly impacted by that news that happened yesterday. You saw with me yesterday what happened with J&J. Johnson & Johnson's announcement caused the CDC to have an advisory committee this morning on immunization practices at the FDA to determine what to do with Johnson & Johnson. That Johnson & Johnson impact on travel stocks really took its hit yesterday. At the start of the trading yesterday, Carnival's down 2%. Norwegian was down 2%. Also down yesterday at the start was Marriott and Hilton. This all impacts things across the board. But we have big, great news today from Moderna. As Moderna announced that fall and winter 2021, it will have that booster ready for you for that incredible coverage for the variants. Very big, exciting news. So let's cut back to the exciting details about that monthly stimulus check under the fourth stimulus package. It is really very clear who wants it and how they want it. Well, they would be put in there by Democrats when they get it to their hands. The Democrats at issue are Senate Democrats want to do it and House Democrats. The House Democrats are progressives, they're junior members. The senators are senior adult members, and the senior adult members propose a different path. They propose stimulus checks to the end of this year. The House members propose stimulus checks for pandemic plus 1 year. Let's look at that graphic. Here we go. House members want 1 year plus pandemic, whereas the senators want it to the end of this year. The amounts, the House members want $2,000 plus for the first month and then $1,000 thereafter. Senators unknown. One viewer during the commercial break said, when will we hear what the exact amount of the stimulus check will be? Literally at the last second. Literally at the last second. When the bill goes by vote-a-rama, it may start in the House, with the House putting a number in there. But even if the House members put an amount in there with stimulus checks, the senators may change it. It's not to that very last minute during the vote-a-rama that we will see the monthly stimulus checks. That's a great question. When do we see the actual amount? Who gets it? $75,000 or less, single individual. $150,000 or less, married couple. Household. If you are 4 or less in the household. Also, SSI and STI, Social Security and railroad benefits. This is all for you. Absolutely. And who do I see in the room? I see Sandy and Gail and Caveman. And there's Jenny and Colleen and Kim and Elizabeth and Sylvia. And there is another Kim. And there's Dakota as well. And Esther. Away we go. What a big day. And here is the path. Reconciliation. Vote-a-rama. 21 of 50 senators wanted you to have it. Speed is of issue. You want it in there as soon as possible because every month costs you a stimulus check. You don't want the economy rebounded first, and you don't want those jobs restored. Oh, boy. What did we see earlier today? Earlier today, we saw those blowout numbers from the banks. Look at these blowout numbers. Goldman Sachs came in at $18.60 a share. Wall Street expecting 10 cents, $10 a share. Wells Fargo came in at $1 a share. Earnings projected was 70 cents. It shows you that Wall Street has no way to gauge where the earnings are at the moment, and they're continually undervaluing earnings, meaning we're rebounding faster than anyone thought. The president released a new video today that pushes his narrative for stimulus. And his narrative is one of the latest videos. You'll see it tonight on Evenings LALATE. It's important to understand that the narrative is talking about the same things. Infrastructure, land, water. But in there is only one brief second of the word climate. There it is. It's actually under the graphic. It's actually under the afternoon's LA graphic. And maybe I can show it to you right there. But it's literally just a heart breath of the word. There it is right there. Just for a second, it says the word climate. And if you blink or don't listen carefully, you'll miss the word. It's important, the reason, understand why he's doing that, because Republicans aren't going to do the climate. The bill has to go by recon. The bill has to go by recon, and you want it to go by recon. Purple Power, push, push, push. Share these videos on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, hashtag MSE, hashtag Purple Power. You need to push more. Keep on pushing, because this needs to go by reconciliation. Let's recap something that's very important to remember. The President's the President of the United States. He's head of the executive branch. He doesn't write bills. He doesn't do voting of legislation. He's the executive branch. What he does is he prepares a proposal. He gives the proposal to Nancy Pelosi, out of the Speaker of the House. So I propose to do 5 things: water and climate and infrastructure. Okay, she gets it. She leaves that in there because she's not going to undo it. And then she throws some other things on top of it. The Senate gets it, and they say, yeah, but I'm going to throw some stuff on top of that as well. Ultimately, the people who write the bill, the people who amend the bill, the people who modify the bill, and the people who send the bill to subcommittees are congressmen. They're not the president. The president does not write the bill. So the person who's giving you stimulus checks, Democratic senators, House senators, House Democrats, Democratic House, Democratic senators. Those are the people giving you the stimulus checks, not the president and not the Republicans. So it's important for you to push Purple Power with those people right off the bat. Thank you for joining me on a big afternoon's broadcast in a day in which we learned about that $6,000 from Ron Wyden, the new delivery of stimulus checks from the president today, 2 million checks as well, the $50,000 of student loan debt and how it could save nearly 36 million Americans from debt right off the bat. And the big breaking details of other things across the board, whether it is the EIDL grant, which is now being delivered to millions of Americans, the shuttered venue grant, the PPP grant, and also the other grants at issue about to roll out. A lot of big news, and I'm going to see you later as afternoon's LA heats up. This afternoon's programming schedule repeats yesterday's. Afternoons LA continues with a big broadcast at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Then evenings LA in its same time slot, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then tonight, back again, is a 1-hour special of Javita Late. That's at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. Try to do 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 likes. Every like you give really helps. And consider becoming a member. And if you are a member, you got a copy of Ron Wyden's bill the minute it came out earlier today. Stay informed, stay focused, and save our life for more.